So I saw a question of how do I scale a service business? I think this is a really interesting question because it's you're thinking the right way. First of all, before you think about scaling yourself, you need to think about how you're scaling your operations. So how you're doing your work first. So that might be setting up Zapier or learning Zapier. I've used Zapier for a decade now, I think, and gotten pretty good at it. So if you can do that, you can probably save yourself. I remember I wrote an article for a organization I used to help start companies with, and that whole concept was I used Zapier to save myself a $40,000 hire. So you can probably scale yourself a bit that way. Also, look up the sales tools and any other tools that can help you. I use one called Overloop. It really helps with outreach and reconnection. I use HubSpot for marketing emails, so that helps with another form of engagement and interaction with people who are involved with NoCap. So there are lots of different ways that you can go about scaling yourself using technology. Automation is the next step. That's when you do repetitive tasks, that things that you do over and over and over again. You can probably automate a lot of those. For everything that's left over, things that require discretion, things that require some level of intellect or critical thinking, I would probably say start with an intern first. College intern, super smart, MBA. What MBA might be too high, but like a business student, and go that route. And then as you continue to make more money and need more expertise, hopefully you can groom that person into a full-time hire. Then after that, you can start recruiting people. So it's pretty stair-stepped, but I think your first start is to use tech to solve or to round out some of those edges. After that, you're going to want to use automation software to take on like minute tasks or data entry tasks or anything along those lines, like transferring data from one app to another. And then after that, probably look at an intern. After that, probably groom that intern to a full-time hire. After that, then you're gonna start like building up a recruiting enterprise to help scale yourself that way. But I think one thing to remember is that you want to keep in mind the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule and how you go about scaling yourself, because you don't want to lose all of your profit margin based on a lot of expenses. A lot of people, when they start a services business, they just hire people like without really thinking. Or they think that's just the way to go because they may have seen it somewhere else or they may have heard like someone recommend it. But I think that you can actually probably save anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a year in payroll simply by automating and using technology first. And then you can build an infrastructure based off of that so that when you pull someone in, they are also scaled. Because what you don't want is to pay someone for 40 hours worth of work a week, every week, and them only be optimized to about 25 of those hours, which is typical in like large service businesses, like huge law firms or huge accounting firms or huge like financial services firms. Huge PR marketing agencies, like usually, stats say that people only work like 25 to 30 hours per week on average, like actual work. So what you want to do is make sure that if you're losing 10 to 15 hours per week, that is solved by technology. And if you can do that, your profit margins can stay intact and you won't feel like you're running on a treadmill to try and make your revenues hit your profit goals. So hopefully that helps. If not, I don't know what else to tell you.